Resilient ones.
But the last time, honestly, the first thing that comes in my head, like, I had to stop because I wasn't even getting up in the morning, like, with a will to, like, I had no desire to live. I had no desire to, like, do better. Like, I literally was just going through the motions. I was waking up knowing that I had to mentally prepare myself to go to the strip club, to go post myself, to go do the same thing that I did not want to be doing. On top of the fact that I had no access to my children, my heart was literally like breaking. Like, I wanted to die. Like, I was just like, I don't want to be here. But I also had this tiny bit of me that believed and knew there was a God and knew that if I took my own life, that I was going to hell, at least in my mind. And so I was just like, any chance I got, I was trying to sneak pills, drink too much, mix pills with drinks, hoping just like that either something changes or I just don't wake up. Like, I just didn't want to be here anymore. When I felt that feeling, like that hopelessness, I was like, something has to change. And at that time, I was with the last pimp that I had. And, he was cool. I considered him and my wife-in-laws at the time like my family. Like, they were cool. He was cool. He tried very hard to, like, help me through my breakdowns and help me through getting my kids back. And I just was so gone by that point that I was just like, I hate what I'm doing. I hate myself. I was looking in the mirror one day and I didn't recognize, like, I just broke down. I looked at myself in the mirror and, like, we look at ourselves in the mirror, but, like, have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and really caught eye contact with yourself? And in that moment, I caught eye contact with myself, and I didn't recognize myself. I didn't know who I was. And I started breaking down crying, and I locked myself in the bathroom. The guy that I was with, he happened to be out of town. And I told my wife-in-law, I was like, I just want to end it. Like, I'm going to pop these pills. I'm going to, like, I don't want to wake up. Like, don't help me. Don't send me to the hospital. Like, just let me go. Like, I just don't want to be here no more. And God had a different plan. And I just told him after that, I was like, I gotta go. Like, I have to go home. I can't do this anymore. And that's the initial of why I had to stop, because I didn't want to be here anymore. And how can I transition to do anything in my life if I don't even have the desire to live? And so I think that was probably first and foremost. I had to put myself in a place where I had a desire to try to change my life, because I just was ready to go at that point. And then, once I got away from that situation, then it became about my kids. It wasn't about me yet, but it was about my kids. Like, why do I need to stop now? Because I wasn't getting anywhere. Like, I was just repeating the cycle. I wasn't getting anywhere. If I didn't have the game, if I didn't have my pimp, I didn't have nothing. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a house. I didn't have a savings. I didn't have even, like, any self-esteem outside of how much somebody was paying me in that time. Like, that's where my value was coming from. Like, how much can I break on somebody? That's how much, if I'm not breaking on somebody, or somebody doesn't want to pay me the amount that I want them to pay me, I'm worthless. I had no self-esteem. So I wasn't even doing it for myself at that point. It was just more of like, I'm seeing my daughters and knowing, like, damn, I don't ever want them to, like, fall into this. Like, this is no way for anybody to live. I don't want nobody to treat them the way that I've been treated through this process. And I don't want them to feel what I'm feeling right now. And so I looked at them and I had a decision. Like, I can either make excuses and continue to do what I'm doing and wait for my life to end, because that's what was going to happen. If I didn't overdose, a trick was going to kill me, a pimp was going to kill me, because at that time it was like I was trying to commit suicide without committing suicide. I was doing stupid stuff, robbing pimps that were gangbangers, like doing stuff that could have got me killed. So I either was going to continue to do that until my life ended, or I was going to stop making excuses and face and hold myself accountable and go be better for my daughters at least, and give them a chance at having a mom that isn't all the way gone. And so that was my initial why I got to stop. And it was about them. And eventually, by the grace of God, it became about me desiring to want that change, desiring to do better for myself, because it don't matter how much I love my kids. If I don't love myself, I wasn't going to get nowhere. And it wasn't an overnight process. It wasn't like I just woke up one day and was like, this sucks. I'm out. It was a very gradual process of me exploiting myself without a pimp, without a third party. It was me still being caught in that cycle of like lying to the people around me because I was ashamed that I was still kind of half in, half out. Still me struggling with my addiction. And I knew that my addiction wasn't going to change. I knew I had no chance with changing my addiction at all unless I stopped the things that I was trying to numb out. And a big part of what I was trying to numb out was everything that came along with being in the game. Dealing with strangers every day, dealing with having to change who I am throughout the day to fit what this person wants me to be, having nothing to like wake up to, like getting drunk every day just so I can make sure that I'm making the money that I need to make, and being able to even process or deal with my emotions. At the time, that's the only way I knew how to deal with my emotions. And so if I want to stop using, if I want to stop the process of my addiction, which I can't be around my kids if I'm in active addiction, how am I? It's a cycle. Like, I have to change the things that I'm trying to run away from. And in order to do that, I had to face them head on and stop making excuses. And that's ultimately why I had to get out at first. And then it just gradually, as I started healing different areas, turned into new, bigger reasons, more reasons of, okay, this is why I got to stay out. But why I had to stop was so that I could find a desire to live. Because the game definitely, everything that came with the game took that from me. And I wanted to eventually that led me to wanting to find out who Jaimee is, like who I am. What do I like? What is my favorite color? What is my favorite food? Who am I outside of anybody else? And looking up and being like 25, 26 and not knowing those things, that in itself broke me down, because I'm like, I can't even answer nobody. If somebody's like, what's your favorite this? I couldn't even answer them, because it was always me catering to becoming and conforming to what somebody else wanted me to be, or what I thought was the right answer. So that self-seeking in itself became a new reason for me to quit. Because as I started to get to know myself, I realized that I had good things about me. It wasn't all the horrible things I had allowed to manifest. I wasn't all the dark things that I allowed myself to use as like a defense mechanism. I had a lot of great qualities about me. I had a lot of great things. I had a lot of good things to say and to give the world. But unless I stopped what was shutting that out, I couldn't ever get to that point of knowing that I had those things in me. So the process was just a continual, it still is continual. It's still I think the most popular question I get when I go to speak to people about like my lived experience, they always ask like, how did you get out? And I'm like, lately my answer has just been like, I think it was last year I was doing a training, and someone asked that question, and I broke down. I paused for a minute and I broke down, and I was like, you know what? Like, I didn't get out. Like, every single day I have to make a conscious decision that I'm not going to go backwards. Every day I have to make a conscious decision that it's worth it to still stop. Every day I have to still choose to be out. So I don't think I ever am going to be out. Because as soon as I think that I'm out, that's when the enemy is going to be able to attack me and remind me that he can pull me back in just that quick.
Resilient ones.